Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody with an invisible condition, no matter what it is, to know beyond the shadow of a doubt for sure that you do have a voice, you have a community, you are not alone. And to that end, I have a really cool guest today. I'm so excited for you to meet her. Her name's Nola Johnson, and she describes being severely bullied as a young child, which not cool. Bullying is never okay. So now she is an author, coach, teacher, and advocate against childhood bullying and trauma, which I love that when people flip it around. So cool. Her focus is spreading awareness of the long-term mental health effects that this type of trauma can bring, such as anxiety and depression. So Nola's book, What Every Adult Needs to Know About Child Bullying, which we will show you during the episode, and I think she's got a copy there that she's going to show us, and we'll put it on the screen, give you a chance to go to Amazon to get a copy. It's going to be great. What Every Adult Needs to Know About Child Bullying has been used as a tool in schools, ministries, and local organizations in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. That area, I tell you what, I've been there more times than I care to admit recently. But it's a great part of the country, and I'm so excited for Nola to be here. Thank you for being here. Let me pull her into this. Hey, there we go. It worked. Good morning, Nola. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful to be on your show. I'm excited to spread awareness and give a different perspective on this childhood bullying, these long-term effects that it brings.
Oh, yeah. Man, and I have known, I think I've talked to you about a couple of friends of ours that we know that's got some really amazing organizations around that. And I mean, it's becoming, unfortunately, has become kind of a thing more in the last 10. Honestly, I think possibly because of social media it's gotten worse, but
absolutely
we can talk about that later. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. So I'm so glad that you and others are rising up to address it, and by the way, anybody in the audience right now that has ever, throughout the show, feel free. We'll be broadcasting this on social media and on E360 TV and Facebook and YouTube. And even after the show, if you see the replay and you have questions, reach out to Nola, because she would gladly be, right? You want people to, that's the idea. That's why we're doing this.
Yes.
So reach out to her and ask any questions you want, or connect with her so she can help you. So, so thank you for being here. Can you share with us maybe some of the stuff that you faced as a child that kind of inspired this as a victim of bullying?
Absolutely. Well, when I was in elementary school, maybe all the way to middle school, as I told you, I was severely bullied. That looked like being punched in the face, my things being stolen, being spit on. I've even been spit on. Just it was a daily thing, a daily type of trauma that I experienced. And my reasoning for writing the book and other books that I've written on bullying is because of that, but it's also to share the experience I've had in my adult life based on the bullying that I experienced. What I've learned and what I've found out through data and research, because I'm not a doctor, but with writing my books, of course, I go into doing the research and going into the data. And what I found out was that childhood bullying has the same effects as any childhood trauma. So, for example, if a child has been sexually abused or physically abused, the same effects are the same. Those same effects are in childhood bullying as well. And many people don't realize that. And that's why I come to give, I think it's my purpose to give a different perspective, because what I've noticed in this journey of spreading awareness on this topic is a lot of the adults and a lot of the parents, they understand bullying as, someone called my child a name or someone said something mean. But what happens is when there's a serious, severe case of bullying, that thing becomes anxiety and it becomes depression. It becomes all different things. And what I found out was that trauma, just like I said, as any childhood trauma, PTSD is a part of, comes from childhood bullying. Insomnia comes from childhood bullying. Of course, anxiety, depression, eating disorders come from childhood bullying. All these different things are a part of that trauma. So it's my purpose, I believe, is to spread that and spread that awareness so that parents and teachers and faculty and staff can tackle that head on. When they see a child being bullied to that case that severely, they go ahead and get that child the psychological help that they need, with that, whether that's counseling or therapy or whatever that may be. They go ahead and tackle that as a child, because what happens is they'll have a long adult life of, like I said, depression, anxiety,
Yeah.
bad relationships, feeling low self-worth and low self-esteem based on that trauma.
Which is correct. I mean, which is, I mean, I say it sounds crazy that one set of circumstances or one experience or one series of experiences with a bully could really set that off and be that impactful. But it is so impactful, especially when you're a child, like if you're in like elementary school, right? Everybody has some. I mean, I have an experience with a bully in elementary school.
Right.
Everybody's got something, and bullying may not be considered invisible, but here's how I kind of look at it. It was always for me growing up. It was always, I saw it in class more times than I can count. The bully would do something to, I don't kick the kid under the table or do do something to be annoying to be the bully. And then the kid retaliating against the bully is what always got caught. That was what always got caught. Never the bully, always the retaliation from the victim of the bullying. And so the bully was pretty invisible,
Right.
So in that respect, yeah, it kind of is. But it's the in depression, anxiety, I mean, a lot of those things you listed they're not usually obvious.
Absolutely. Those are the invisible conditions there. The anxiety, when we talk about anxiety, what is anxiety? Anxiety is the feeling of worry, of something traumatic happening, and it's not happening, but it's all in your body, it's all in your mind. And it brings forth these imaginations, right? And what I found out is that these imaginations, based on that anxiety, based on that depression, based on that low self-esteem and that low self-worth, begins to shape your reality. It begins to shape how you see yourself. It literally begins to shape your reality. So you begin to go on the road, bad relationships, of toxic relationships, bad, experiences because of this anxiety and these imaginations that have come through this trauma. And that's the invisible thing that people don't understand.
Well, and that's the really impactful part is what grows from it, because that can go on and fester for years and years,
Years.
decades, and right, and then that can affect everything. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I totally get that.
One thing that brought me to awareness of this is when I got out of the military. So I served 14 years in the military, did 4 deployments, honorable service. And then when I got out of the military, we go on, and any veteran that's listening to your broadcast, they know when you get out of the military, you go on a series of evaluations. They physically evaluate you, they psychologically evaluate you to see what type of disabilities you've gained coming out of the military. So when I went into my evaluations, right, and I went to these psychological, these evaluations that focus on the mental, they go back into your childhood. So they're looking for what's come of this military experience, right? But they go back further before that military experience. And so a lot of the questions they were asking, what was your childhood like? What was this? What was that? And I talked about my experience with childhood bullying. Now, the thing was, after all these evaluations, they rated me 100% based off the trauma. Now, added the military experience as well. But what I didn't know and what was brought to my attention was that I came into the military with this trauma. I came into the military with this anxiety or with this depression. But when I got out, it was even higher. The military just triggered it even more, right? And so what we fail to realize, and as the parent and as the adult, when it comes to our children, is that when we don't seek the help for them, when they tell you, and like I said, I'm talking about severe cases. Well, I'm talking about, the cyberbullying where embarrassing things are coming out on Facebook, or, they go to school and they're constantly being tormented. I've spoken to individuals from the UK. I've had individuals from the UK contact me and tell me the things that their child is going through. I mean, I know of individuals who have just dealt with a number of traumatic experiences and embarrassing experiences when it comes to bullying. And just imagine that these children don't get help at the time as they're a child and they're growing up into their teenage years. And what we see is, Jeff, is some kids, we see them slowly becoming introverted. And a lot of people are like, oh, my child's just introverted. But no, that's not really the case. This is a defense mechanism that they're choosing to do.
Yeah, because, well, yeah, it is. It's a defense mechanism. It's not necessarily a personality trait.
Yes.
It's maybe their personality is very outgoing and friendly and social and all of that. But with the trauma just throws a monkey wrench into everything. No matter what your personality is.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's just crazy. Well, you talked about your book, so I'm going to pop this QR code on here. We'll put the picture up here in a minute, or maybe in a little bit. But guys, reach out go scan this QR code and check out this book that she's written. And this is just one of several that you've written. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. I've even have one on workplace bullying. That's something I experienced as well. So yeah.
Man, in the military or afterwards?
Afterwards.
Oh wow.
Afterwards. Yeah.
Wow. Because I mean, I've heard plenty of stories of people, experiencing it in the military as well, but afterwards, yeah. I mean, it's everywhere, unfortunately.
Now the thing is, with coming into the military with that trauma and not knowing that I had this anxiety, this depression, this low self-worth, all these different things, when I went into the military, with a defense up. So
Mhm.
A lot of people that know me from back when I was in the military, they know me as Mad Max, because I would begin now that I'm in the military, now I am defending myself by lashing out, by being someone that I'm really not. But this is how I'm going to protect myself from being bullied.
Sure.
So it goes into that type of lane as well. And when I talk about in my book, Jeff, is, number one, I go into what the definition of bullying is. Bullying is a bully is someone who believes that they have superiority over someone. They use that superiority because they believe that they are, because they deem someone as different. They look different. They're smaller. They may be a little bit more quieter. They may be a little bit what people say is different. They deem them as different. And so these individuals, when we talk about bullying, these individuals are normally a target, especially if they're quiet, especially if they are deemed as different. Maybe they wear glasses, or maybe their size isn't the norm, or maybe it's, this, that. They look at all
Sure.
the different things to make these individuals targets. And what I also talk about in my book is knowing the signs. One, if your child is being bullied, but also knowing, two, if your child is a bully. And there are signs and there are symptoms. And that's what I talk about in my book.
In this particular book that we have the
Yes, in
QR
this
code up for.
particular
Yeah.
book, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's huge, because yeah, nobody wants to have the child that is the bully either. So
Right.
and if you find that out early, right, with good parenting and redirection, and
Yes.
you can hopefully nip that in the bud before it gets out of control and you have them on the other side of it. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And most parents they don't want to face that, and I talk about it all the time. Hey, your child may be a bully, and there are some signs and some symptoms. And, we can get into the signs and the symptoms for each one. But yeah,
Sure.
it happens.
Oh man, does it ever? Yeah, and not a lot of people think about that part. A lot of people think about responding to the bully
Hmm.
once it's there. Like
Hmm.
everybody's seen Christmas Story, right? With the bully, with the kid, with the
Yeah.
little the
Yeah.
little dude with them, and they just picked on that group relentlessly
Hmm.
during but nobody thinks about, well, where did that start? Could that have been prevented?
Absolutely.
And it
And
probably could have, but
yes.
so yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well,
Hmm.
I I'm so glad that we're talking about this. I think we're at a good spot right this minute to we're just gonna go to a short break.
Yes.
And then after we get back, I'm going to put a picture of your book up there. If you have one nearby, you can even hold it up, or
Yes.
you
Right.
can show it to us and we can talk about it a little more.
Hmm.
Because I kind of want to talk about how your experiences like shaped that, like how your experiences brought you to where you're doing all this. I mean, a lot of people would have retreated into a much less healthy place, and here you are helping people. So I want to dive into that. So
Great.
um, yeah. So, but I thank you for being here, and I am so excited to get to that part. So nobody go anywhere. Stick around. Stay where you are, and we will see you in just a couple of minutes.
Does your to-do list have you feeling stressed? Does your list include tasks like responding to email and phone calls, collecting forms and paperwork, and sending quotes and invoices? Have you been neglecting posting updates to your social media accounts, email newsletters, or content on your website? Maybe you need help to get digitally organized. I'm Selena, one of the owners at Office Mercenary, and we're a US-based virtual assistant agency. We can take care of all of these tasks and more so you can get back to focusing on the things you love about your business. Our team is happy to work with you and your individual needs. So schedule a call with us, bring your to-do list, and stop doing the tedious tasks.
Hi, I'm Jake, co-founder and CEO of One Hope. My friends and I started this company in 2007 out of the back of this truck on a mission to enrich people's lives through wine. Today, we've grown into a state-of-the-art Napa Valley winery that proudly houses a portfolio of award-winning wines which have touched lives through over 40,000 nonprofits at home and around the globe. And it's happening every day. Being rooted in local communities and contributing to initiatives that uplift neighborhoods, celebrate cultures, and promote community. It's what got us here. You see, through every bottle sold, your purchase can make a direct impact on the causes you care about. One Hope's Cause of Choice has given back over $10 million and counting.
Are you a change agent? You're going to love the Superpowers for Good show. I'm Devin Thorpe. Every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 11 Eastern, I host an inspiring change maker on Achieve TV. Join us right here on E360 TV.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here, Nola. I appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome back. Man, okay. So in our first segment, we were talking a little bit about how this came about, like how you were, you know, the crazy stuff that you had to endure that sent you down this road that could have really gone two ways. Honestly, it could have gone, you could have gone a different way that wouldn't have been nearly as positive. So I kind of want to go down that road for a second. Like, what made you take that turn to this side and say, you know what, I don't want to wallow in it, or I don't want to join the bullies. I want to help people and prevent this from happening for others. What was the catalyst there?
Absolutely. So I think it was, and I strongly believe it was, the idea of learning about the anxiety that I deal with now, right? And learning and seeing how it really did shape, it shaped my reality. Like I said in the first segment, you know, when you have anxiety, these are feelings of worry, feelings of you can feel it in your body, but these things aren't happening. But you have a response, but it's based off of something that is in your mind, right? So I realized that a lot of things that I experienced in my life, in my adulthood, was based off that anxiety that I had. And it shaped my reality. It shaped the reality that I had, and because I believe that the bullying brought on such low self-esteem for me, I walked in that low self-esteem. And so when you embody something like that, low self-worth and low self-esteem, you bring the relationships that you know you're not you feel you're not good enough anyway. You have this low self-esteem, so you'll take this bad relationship, you'll take this bad friendship, you'll take the job that you know you're better than, but in your mind you don't feel like you don't feel like you're good enough anyway. So you begin to lower, you have low standards, in other words. And so I saw that a part of my journey. And I'm not, I'm in a place where I can share that because I know other people deal with it. I know other people walk in it. I know other people have these imaginations that they're not good enough, that that they're not pretty enough, that they're not this or old enough or young enough, or all these different things. But all these things, Jeff, are based on the imaginations that come into your mind. And this is the thing. And what I realized, and this is just in my walk with the Most High, you have to know and learn and understand how to cast those imaginations down. And when you don't understand that and know what that means, then you'll continue to meditate on the imaginations that are given to you. They're given to you and you've accepted it, but it's not true. The thing is, right, all this stuff, this anxiety, these things that come into our lives, they're not true. They're lies. So the thing is, we accept the lies and we walk in the lie. And see, the thing is, what happens is, and what I seen, it delayed me, Jeff, from my purpose. Yeah. It delayed me from doing the things that the Most High had for me. And that's when I decided, and when I learned that, that's when I decided I need to start talking about this, because a child can be bullied and that could set them off on the wrong track their whole life, and they're totally delayed from what the Most High God has in store for them. Now, the Most High God could do whatever He pleases and however He does it, but it could possibly delay someone from reaching their full potential and reaching their divine purpose that the Most High has sent them here to do.
Right.
And that's what I believe in. So now I make it my goal. I talk about the imaginations and, and casting down the imaginations. My favorite scripture, and I have it right here. Second Corinthians 10:4-6. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for the pulling down the strongholds. Now, what are those strongholds? The strongholds are the things that we've literally set in our mind. These imaginations, now they begin to take root, and we literally operate out of that, right? But we are called to cast down every imagination that would exalt itself above the knowledge of the Most High God, bringing every thought into captivity. So that, and that's what I believe my ministry is. Of course, when I talk to schools and organizations, I stick strictly to the bullying and the mental and the long-term effects. But of course, my purpose, I believe, is to talk about these imaginations. But these imaginations can send you into a whole whirlwind of things that aren't, they're not even true.
Yeah. Well, and you're imagining something that hasn't even happened yet.
And it hasn't happened.
No, it's not even well, and those things, all that anxiety and all the, I'm going to hold on just a second. I'm going to pop this up here real quick while we're talking, because people got to see this book and be able to order it. So, okay. But all these things that people are experiencing and all these traumatic events, especially if you're stuffing them, and you're not letting them out and dealing with them in a healthy way, can actually cause physical illness and physical things in your body. That, I mean, there's people that have autoimmune conditions that are stemming from this stuff, because your body listens and it'll act on whatever you give it. And so if you continue to dwell on that stuff, it's gonna end. It's just not great. It's not good. Absolutely. So many problems can come out of it. So
yes, and I mean, just like you said, the physical thing. When you talk about anxiety, and that's something that I deal with now, and like I said, it's a daily practice. It's a daily thing to cast down imaginations. It's a daily thing to block out untruthful thoughts and imaginations and things of that nature. But what I'll tell you is that dealing with anxiety, and people that deal with it and people that understand it and know about it, they know that sharp pain that you get in your chest. They know that sharp pain that feels like you're having a heart attack. I've been to the emergency room several times because I thought I was having a heart attack and found out it's a panic attack. And it was wrong, and this, that, and the third. Of course, now I'm learning how to manage that. But these are just some things that come from, anxiety and depression. So when I talk about, bullying, of course, there's other trauma that brings in. My focus is bullying. But, again, this type of trauma, when it's severe, it could bring on this anxiety and this depression and this low self-worth and this low self-esteem. And, as the parent and as the adult, and that's why I named my book What Every Adult Needs to Know About Bullying, because it's not for the child, it's for the adult to know and understand the long-term effects. What are the signs that your child is being bullied? Has your child come home with marks and their things being stolen? Have they all of a sudden started wetting the bed, and they're beyond that age, but they're all of a sudden wetting the bed? And, with bed wetting, that's any trauma. So if the child begins to wet the bed, if it's not bullying, then there may be some other trauma there to look into. But these are just, this is according to data and research. These things happen. Are they things being stolen? Are they all of a sudden trying to not go to school? And some kids say, I don't want to go to school today, or they may fake something, fake a headache or whatever. But there are times where the child begins to say they have these stomach aches. because that's really what they're feeling in their gut. You feel that, Jeff, adrenaline when
Yeah.
you're nervous about something, when you're getting ready to speak, for example, you may have this adrenaline, this stomach feeling. These are what the children are feeling when they have to go to school. And see, this is a thing. As an adult, we can say we're going to call in sick to work, or we're going to put in that work, that leave of absence from work. But that child, they have to get up and they have to get on that school bus and they have to go to school. Do you know and understand what they have to face when they have to do this? This is hard,
Yeah.
and I can remember the times, Jeff, when I was on the school bus, and when I had to wake up and get on that school bus. It was horrible. It was horrible, the fear that I felt, because I knew once I got on that school bus, someone was going to pull my hair that day. Someone was going to hit me that day. Someone was going to steal something of mine that day. So it's like, when we think about these children who are being bullied, especially when we talk about the kids who are at elementary school, for example, these kids are facing a lot of trauma. So what you begin to see is the kids begin to shrink down. They're not playing with their siblings like they used to. They're not that outgoing child like they normally are. Some of them begin to get on the games, and they just totally focus on those video games, and they bring themselves into a different reality, outside of reality,
Yeah.
just not all the time, but I just want to put it out there. These are some things that you can, look
Sure.
at.
Sure. No, it's all important, for sure. But I wonder, I mean, we talk about a lot, you've touched a lot on what the parents can do and how the parents can deal with the child that's being bullied. Like for me, when I was growing up, I've only had to deal with one. I only remember really one bully.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember I remember my mom literally saying to me, Jeff, I'll give you $20 if you punch him in the face. I promise. He's like, that's all. Just stand up to this kid.
Right.
All you got to do is stand up to this kid and he'll go away, And so, but for the longest time, I didn't know how to do that. And so, I knew that, for me, I was like, I've always told my kids, look, if you're dealing with a bully, speak up for yourself. And if you can't speak up for yourself, tell a teacher. And if the teacher doesn't help, talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
And if last resort,
you do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do. That's right. Throw a punch or whatever you got to do, but make sure it's the first one and make sure it's the last one. But,
Absolutely.
But that's all stuff that, like, we say that, but are you talking about like when that's not enough, or is it like, or is that part of the thing too? Like you want people to stand up for themselves against these bullies, right? It's not
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I talk about that as well in my book as well. I talk about one thing that gives the child the confidence. Like you said, you went to your parent, you said, hey, I'm being bullied at school, and your parents say, hey, I'll give you this if you do this, right? And they told
incentive.
You, that's right. And you say, okay, the fighting is the last resort.
Right.
But one thing you said, Jeff, was speaking up for yourself. So, and I talk about that. One thing, and like I said, what bullying is, individuals who bully others, they normally go for the child who does not speak up for themselves. In other words, the child doesn't have boundaries. So what I say to people that I speak with, and when I talk to different parents and schools and stuff, I tell the parents to teach your child how to have boundaries. What that comes with is using their voice. Because the thing is, Jeff, once they lose their voice, it's a long road after that. Once they lose,
it's hard. It's so much harder after that.
Absolutely. And like I was saying before, when they go into their adult life, they're going to take on that same characteristic of not using their voice. So they'll get in relationships and they don't say no, or they don't speak up for themselves, or they don't say, hey, you're crossing a boundary. So then other people begin, as they become an adult, their boundaries are crossed, and things of that nature. So what I tell parents, number one, show your kids, teach your kids how to use their voice. And if they've lost their voice, there are some things that you could do to have them bring their voice back. Put
Yeah.
them in something that gives them confidence, whether it's a team sport or an outside activity outside the school. Maybe, some kids like karate, some kids like boxing, some kids, do other different activities, whether it's sports, whether it's something mental. Some kids get in chess competitions and things of what you want to do is get that kid to the place where they're confident, where they're using their voice, where they understand, hey, if a child is crossing the boundary, come and they're at their desk in school, for example, they're at school and another child, a so-called bully, comes and takes their pen or tries to take their pen or their pencil, that child knows to say, hey, give me my stuff back.
That's right.
Because once the bully sees that child doesn't have a voice, it's on from there. I mean, more than likely, once they see that child doesn't have a voice, they're going to continue to pick with that child.
Well, exactly. And I would much rather get a call from the principal's office that my kid stood up for himself or herself and got in trouble for it than get the phone call that says my kid just got the snot kicked out of him and I have to go to the nurse's office or something and take him to the hospital or something. I would much rather defend my child for standing up for themselves and end up, even if he gets, I don't care, even if he gets suspended or if he, gets that pink slip or whatever, I would much rather have him do that. And because that is a better track to be on, as long as you don't get carried away.
Right.
But yeah, boundaries are always better. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I talk about that,
all of that is in the book, right?
We had that
book up there for a while. All of the things we've been talking about is all in there.
The only thing, okay, so the scriptures and things of that nature. That's not on this one. I'm working on that one. But this one, yes, absolutely. The short-term effects, the long-term effects. How to talk to the school, for example, if your child comes home and they say they're being bullied, there's a way. Every school has a zero tolerance policy for children for bullying. So if your child is consistently coming home and saying they're being bullied by a particular kid at that school, then we have to go into the school and have a meeting in a conference because the zero tolerance policy states on your website for this ISD states that this shouldn't happen. And if a child is being bullied, this should happen. There should be an investigation, this, that, and the third. So I also talk about how to talk to the parents, how to talk to the teachers, and things of that nature.
That's a big deal too, because some teachers, not all, not trying to throw anybody under the bus here, but not all teachers and administrators are created equal. So there are some great ones,
absolutely,
and there are some less great ones. So in every school district, in every school across the country and around the world, no teacher is perfect. So sometimes they need that meeting with the parents, right? To say,
absolutely,
this is what's going on, because they, especially in public school, there's so many kids in these classes. Sometimes they can't always pay attention to everything going on. So that's actually really good point to say, hey, let's have a conversation here with you, me, and the child, and or maybe without the child. Maybe that's the best way to go sometimes.
Right. Yeah. For the most part. Yeah. Without the child, it's normally good to talk to the parents and see what's going on and how we could protect this child. If they're being bullied like severely, there should be a way that school should protect that child. There shouldn't be any retaliation. That child should be. And I go into, different things of how the child can protect themselves, always use the buddy policy, the buddy system, where if a child is being bullied and they're scared of being bullied at that school, have someone with you. If you go to the bathroom, have another kid that goes with you to the bathroom. Have a staff member go to the bathroom. Never be by yourself. Never be alone. Things of that nature. There are certain ways that child could protect themselves, but there are ways that the parents and the faculty and staff should protect the child as well.
Yeah, 100%. And it's, there's a certain amount of responsibility on all sides. So yeah, that's good to talk about too. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm so excited for people to get a hold of your book, because it's, if you need it, the QR code will be back. Don't worry. We're going to go to a commercial here again in just a second, but we will bring that QR code back for the rest of the show when we come back, and scan it, check it out, buy it. If you don't buy it for you, buy it for somebody you know that might need it. If everybody recognizes the kid that's getting picked on, even if you can't do it's, if you can't do anything about it or whatever, but you could get that book to somebody who needs it. So, so we'll do that just on the other side of this break, but the QR code will be back. But this is awesome. This is great information. Thank you for being here and for enlightening on this subject, because this is a big deal. So,
absolutely.
So yeah, thank you so much. We will be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
In a world where office workers typically receive 130 daily emails and have an 8-second attention span, CoreCentrica, with her 4 decades of international marketing experience, has partnered with the Learning Code Institute and their 30 years of neuroscientific research. Together, we are crafting unique messaging strategies that resonate, connect, and ultimately convert our target audiences. CoreCentrica, where award-winning creativity and disruptive neuroscience come together. Scan this code now, or call and click, and let us show you how CoreCentrica's partnership with the Learning Code Institute is influencing how businesses connect with their audience, foster engagement, and achieve conversions.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm so glad that we're doing this show, because this is a subject that, there are groups all over the place. In fact, I have a really good friend here in Colorado Springs that has an organization that focuses exactly on that. And I think I've introduced you to her, but or if I haven't, I need to. But oh my gosh, these kind of organizations, these kind of causes need to come together, because the more the merrier, right? So yeah, strength in numbers, man. Let's get this going and end this ridiculous bullying thing. It's just so
absolutely.
So it's just infuriating to watch, So so thank you for doing what you're doing. It's just unbelievable. So all right, here we go. I'm gonna pop this back on screen here. All right, guys, you have no excuse. I don't know where I'm pointing, but it's down in the lower right corner of the screen. I was going to point to it. Yeah. Scan the QR code, order the book, order a couple books so you can give it to somebody who might need it, or you might think might need it, or to a school administrator, maybe, absolutely. Or a principal. Yeah.
Teachers, faculty, staff. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we've talked a lot about the challenges and a lot about the stuff that happens and what, the negative side of it and all that stuff. I want to turn it around a little bit to end the show kind of on a positive note. I believe hope is a powerful thing in every aspect of life. I mean, whether you're dealing with something like a condition that requires surgery all the time, or something that's psychological, or something like bullying, something, but hope can be a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
Even just having that hope. And so I want to ask you, Nola, as you know, where do you find hope on your hard days?
Hmm. It has to be in my prayer life and my meditation. I mean, the power of the Holy Spirit, I do believe in it. I do believe in the power of the Most High God. And so when it comes to my anxiety and my depression and the things that I deal with on the mental, I have to pray for that helmet of salvation daily. I have to pray for the mind of Christ daily. I have to cast down imaginations daily. It's a daily practice. And what I found out, Jeff, is as I continue to do this on a daily basis, it works.
Yeah.
It works. It
Yep.
works. And you know, you have your days, you have your
Yeah.
periods of anxiety. I mean, people that deal with it understand it and they know it. But I can guarantee you, if you pray, you meditate, and you believe in the power of the Most High God and the Creator and the power of the Holy Spirit, and you pray for that armor of God, you pray for that helmet of salvation, you pray for the mind of Christ, and you pray for the Holy Spirit to saturate your mind, it works. It works. It helps. It
Man,
helps.
it does. It does. I can speak from experience on that as well. Yes, it does. Prayer is a powerful thing.
Yes. And
So,
I get my hope from that. And I get my hope from understanding and knowing that, you know, knowing the difference between the truth and a lie.
yes.
You know, understanding what the truth is, understanding what the lie is, and casting down the lie, blocking out the lie, and going with what I believe is true, noble, pure, holy, good report, the things that are good. I focus on those things. And again, it's a daily practice. It's daily. You have to do this daily. You have to do this through the day. You have to do this through the night. You have to do it, you know. But it can be done, and you can overcome that thing.
Well, and the more you're in the Word of God, the more you're in, whatever we, no, you and I are Christians. We're Jesus followers. I mean, we have that in common. Not everybody is, which is fine.
Right, absolutely.
But whatever your meditation is, whatever your, I mean, for me, it's keeping that scripture in your mind, in your heart, so that when you encounter that difficulty, when you encounter that darkness or whatever, you've already got it. You don't have to reach for the Bible to find it. You've already got it,
Absolutely.
And so, that's where the daily part comes in. Like,
but like you said, even for your followers who are not Christian, for example, or who follow a different belief, it goes the same way. Meditating, saturating your mind with the truth, and blocking out the lie is all the same. And it's not whether the person is Christian or this, that, and the third. It's one truth. It's the truth. And when you're receiving a lie, you have two options. One is to meditate on that lie, or to meditate, to cast down the lie and meditate on what's true.
Yep.
And so that's what I tend to do daily. I work on, I practice it. It's a daily thing, it's a daily practice. And for the parents, teach your children how to protect themselves spiritually. If you believe in that, teach your children how, if you believe in prayer, teach your children how to pray before they get on that bus. Teach them how to saturate themselves in the armor of God. Tell them about the superpower, what that invisible armor looks like. We have an invisible armor that we can, and what I found out about children, Jeff, is that they believe in superheroes. They believe in superpowers. And so when we teach the children about the power of the Most High, or source, or whatever you may believe in, they'll take that and they'll believe in that power, and they'll believe in that armor, that invisible armor of the Most High, because it is there, it exists, and it's for us to use. And so teach your children how to protect themselves, not just spiritual, not just physical, but spiritual as well. And that makes a lot of difference. And I think parents should be aware of that and think about that when it comes to bullying.
100%. That's exactly right. And so I mean, this QR code is here again with the book. I mean, guys, get a hold of this book and give it to somebody in a school that that could use it. And if well, here's another question. Do you have? I mean, you've got several books. Do you have any? We've got about 3 or 4 minutes left, so we don't have a lot. We're almost at the end, unfortunately. Time flies when you're having fun.
Right.
So in this last few minutes, what do you have? First of all, what do you have on the horizon? Do you have any things that are coming up that you want people to keep an eye out for, or anything like that? And then, what's next for you?
Absolutely. Right now, I'm in the process of a children's book, actually, a children's series. I'm working on that. That should be out by the next school year, at least by September timeframe. I'm looking forward to. Of course, I'm doing the thing with what every adult needs to know about bullying. I have a book signing that's coming up here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you want more information on that, definitely DM me, hit me up on Facebook, or shoot me an email. I'll give you the information for that. That's on the 27th at one of the local bookstores here. And so also, of course, we have our ministry with the House of Remnant that my husband does as well with his show. We have a grocery giveaway that's coming up on the 20th. So individuals that are here in the Fort Worth, Texas area, if you're in need of groceries, if you're in need of some mental health screenings, things of that nature, we have all that for you. Reach out to me and I'll give you that info. But definitely what every adult needs to know about bullying, I think it's a great resource. I think it's a great resource for the parents, the teachers, the faculty and staff to know the signs, the symptoms, long-term effects of bullying.
Absolutely. I love all the stuff you're doing. That's so cool. That is so cool. Yeah, so anybody in that area, we were just driving through that area not that long ago. So next time we're there, I didn't even think about it. I should have called you.
Yeah, next time you gotta get us up.
I know. That happened to me a couple times. They were like, "You were where? You were this close."
Yeah. Next time
you
come, we gotta.
I promise, I'll keep track better next time.
Absolutely.
Right. I feel like I gotta have a Rolodex or something around, like with pins everywhere, where I know people and be like, "Oh, we're going through there. We better call Nola."
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, all right. Well, next time. So, all right. Man, so thank you for being here, by the way. We are almost out of time, but
it went by so fast. Oh my goodness.
I mean, this has been great. I'm so glad that we got this information out. Is there any last minute thing? You got about a minute left. Any last thing you want to leave the audience?
Hey, I stand for the isolated. I stand for the rejected. I stand for the outcasted. I stand for the individuals who feel alone. I'm your friend. I'm the one you can contact. So if you feel alone, if you feel rejected, know you have a friend in me. You can contact me. Reach me on Facebook, email. I'm here. You need to talk about something you're experiencing. I can give you some advice. I can help you the best way that I can and the best way that I know how. So feel free to reach out.
Love it. And you by the way, everybody, Nola's Facebook information will be. We didn't put it on the screen today, but it will be, if you go to E360 TV or Facebook page, the Invisible Condition Facebook page or YouTube channel, on the show, on the description of the show, it'll be on all 3 of those. So you can copy that link and go to her Facebook page and reach out that way. So
absolutely.
There are lots of ways to get a hold of Nola. So
yes,
which is good. Well, thank you so much for being here. I think we are out of time, but I so appreciate you being here and being so real and so upfront about all this stuff, because that's what it takes, man. We got to kind of confront it,
Absolutely.
So,
don't sugarcoat it. Just keep it 100 what it looks like, It looks ugly. It's an ugly thing, but it can be overcame. Absolutely. And you give your child the tools and the resources, they can have a very effective adult life.
That's the truth, man. That's the key. Yeah. So thank you, Nola. I appreciate you being here and getting the word out about all this. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Oh my goodness. So cool. All right. I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because why do we? It's kind of a bummer that this is a thing, but I'm so glad that there's people out there like Nola and her husband that are doing something about it and just flipping it on its head, you know. So so thank you. And by the way, if this is your if you have a favorite episode, share it. Maybe this is your new favorite episode. Share it. When you see it, hit that share button because somebody else probably needs to see it too. And they'll get as much out of it as you did or more. So share, share, share. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for, you know, um, for all of you that have been watching for a long time. Thank you. And for all the new listeners and, you know, audience members that are out there, thank you for being here. Thank you for finding us. Spread the word. We love getting these stories out. And it's a joy. It's an awesome experience for me to be able to share this with you. So thank you so much for being here. Join us for our next show, which will be Tuesday, May 7th. And yeah, that's about it. I think we're about wrapped up, but have an amazing day. Join us on the 7th of May for our next show, and we'll see you next time.